My beloved child. There is something you need to hear today, and it is not what you have been expecting. The reason your soulmate changed their mind about you was never as simple as it appeared. For a long time, you may have believed that distance created the change. You may have thought that silence created the change. You may have even wondered if feelings disappeared. But stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the truth behind this story is far more surprising than anyone could have imagined. At first, everything seemed ordinary. Your soulmate carried thoughts about you that were shaped by assumptions, fears, and unanswered questions. They looked at the situation through a narrow window, seeing only pieces of the picture rather than the entire masterpiece. What they believed about you was built from fragments instead of facts. Yet something unexpected began to happen. Small moments started appearing in their life. Tiny signs. Quiet realizations. Simple discoveries that slowly challenged everything they once believed. Do not skip this moment, because this is where the story truly begins. There was a day when your soulmate heard something that stopped them in their tracks. It was not a dramatic event. It was not a grand announcement. It was a simple truth that arrived at exactly the right time. Suddenly, they began seeing you differently. The image they had created in their mind started to crumble. The assumptions started to fade. The walls they had built around their heart began to weaken. What shocked them the most was realizing how much they had misunderstood. They discovered qualities within you that had been hidden behind circumstances. They noticed strengths they had overlooked. They remembered moments they had forgotten. And the more they reflected, the more they realized that their previous judgment had never shown the complete picture. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what happened next became impossible for them to ignore. As days passed, your soulmate found themselves thinking about you more often than before. Not because someone forced them to. Not because anyone persuaded them. But because every new realization connected to another piece of the puzzle. Questions they once asked began finding answers. Doubts that once felt permanent began disappearing one by one. Imagine discovering that a book you thought you understood contained entire chapters you had never read. That is exactly how this felt. They started revisiting memories. They started looking deeper into situations they once dismissed. And every time they did, they uncovered another reason to reconsider everything. This is where the surprising reason begins to reveal itself. The change was not caused by a single event. The change was caused by understanding. Your soulmate began recognizing that the qualities they had been searching for were standing before them all along. Patience. Authenticity. Kindness. Determination. These were not things that suddenly appeared. They had always been there. The difference was that now they could finally see them. Do not skip. Because the next realization changed everything. One evening, while reflecting on the past, your soulmate noticed a pattern. Whenever life became difficult, memories of you brought a sense of comfort. Whenever uncertainty appeared, thoughts of you brought clarity. Whenever confusion surrounded them, something about your presence remained steady in their mind. That realization shook them. Because for the first time, they understood that what they felt was deeper than they had allowed themselves to admit. And yet, the story is only beginning. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The truth is that your soulmate's change of heart did not happen overnight. It was built through countless moments that slowly pointed them toward the same conclusion. Every lesson, every memory, every realization, they all led to one destination: a new understanding of who you truly are. While others focused on surface details, your soulmate began seeing something deeper. They began seeing your resilience. They began seeing your sincerity. They began seeing the value that had been present all along. And the more they saw, the more impossible it became to return to their old perspective. There was no dramatic turning point. There was no magical moment. There was simply truth. And truth has a remarkable way of changing everything. As you listen to these words, remember that some transformations happen quietly. The strongest changes often occur behind the scenes, invisible to everyone else. While the world continues moving forward, hearts are learning lessons. Minds are gaining clarity. Perspectives are shifting. Your soulmate's journey became exactly that. A journey from assumption to understanding. A journey from uncertainty to clarity. A journey from seeing only pieces of the story to finally seeing the whole picture. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Because the most important revelation has not arrived yet. The surprising reason your soulmate changed their mind about you was not because you became someone different. It was because they finally saw who you had been all along. And once that realization entered their heart, everything began changing in ways they never expected. The next part reveals the discovery that made this realization impossible to ignore, and why that moment became one of the most unforgettable turning points in their entire journey. A remarkable moment is about to unfold, and what your soulmate discovered next became impossible for them to ignore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The truth that changed their mind was not hidden in a grand event. It was hidden inside a realization so powerful that it quietly transformed the way they saw you forever. For a long time, your soulmate believed they understood the story. They thought they knew the reasons behind every feeling, every connection, and every distance that appeared between you. But then something unexpected happened. They began noticing details they had overlooked before. Tiny moments that once seemed ordinary suddenly carried a completely different meaning. Memories they had pushed aside started returning with surprising clarity. Don't skip. Because this is where everything changed. One by one, these memories formed a pattern. They remembered times when your actions spoke louder than words. They remembered moments when your presence brought peace without effort. They remembered situations where your kindness left a lasting impression long after everyone else had moved on. Suddenly, they realized that the qualities they admired most were qualities you had been showing all along. That realization stopped them. Not because it was shocking in a dramatic way, but because it was undeniable. The more they reflected, the more they understood that their previous view had been incomplete. They had focused on questions instead of answers. They had focused on uncertainty instead of truth. And now the truth was standing directly in front of them. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then came the discovery that surprised them more than anything else. Your soulmate realized that whenever they imagined their happiest future, your presence somehow appeared within it. They did not plan for this realization. They did not search for it. It simply arrived. And once it arrived, it refused to leave. Everywhere they looked, they found reminders of lessons they had learned because of you. Every challenge seemed connected to growth. Every memory seemed connected to understanding. What once looked ordinary now appeared extraordinary. Don't skip. Because the next revelation became the turning point. Your soulmate started asking themselves a question they had never seriously considered before. What if the reason they kept thinking about you was not coincidence? What if there was a deeper reason behind every memory returning at exactly the right moment? The answer slowly revealed itself. It was not about chance. It was about recognition. For the first time, they recognized your value in a way they never had before. And that recognition changed everything. Suddenly, conversations from the past carried new meaning. Shared moments became more important. Even simple memories seemed brighter. It was as though a veil had been lifted, allowing them to finally see what had been there all along. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What made this realization even more powerful was that nobody forced it to happen. Nobody convinced them. Nobody told them what to think. The understanding came from within. It came from their own observations. Their own reflections. Their own journey. And because of that, it felt real. The surprising reason your soulmate changed their mind about you was not because of a single conversation, a single event, or a single moment. It was because they finally connected all the pieces. The pieces that once seemed separate suddenly formed a complete picture. A picture that showed your strength. A picture that showed your sincerity. A picture that showed why your presence had left such a lasting impression on their heart. Don't skip. Because there is one final detail you need to hear. As this understanding grew stronger, your soulmate noticed something unexpected. The more clearly they saw your value, the more difficult it became to ignore their feelings. Thoughts of you appeared during quiet moments. Memories surfaced during ordinary days. And every reflection seemed to point toward the same truth. They had underestimated the impact you made on their life. That realization became impossible to escape. And when someone finally understands the true value of something they once overlooked, everything begins to change. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the next part, the hidden moment that confirmed all of these feelings will finally be revealed. A moment so unexpected that it became the final piece of the puzzle, leaving your soulmate unable to see you the same way ever again. An unforgettable discovery was waiting just around the corner, and this was the moment your soulmate could no longer ignore what their heart had been trying to tell them. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, and the revelation that changed everything is finally beginning to unfold. There came a quiet moment when your soulmate found themselves revisiting a memory they had not thought about for a very long time. At first, it seemed insignificant. Just another memory among countless others. But as they reflected on it, something unusual happened. They noticed details they had never paid attention to before. Words that once seemed ordinary suddenly felt meaningful. Actions that once seemed small suddenly appeared extraordinary. The more they thought about it, the more one question kept returning. Why had this memory remained so powerful after all this time? Don't skip. Because the answer surprised even them. The reason was simple yet profound. Deep within that memory was a truth they had overlooked. A truth about you. A truth about the connection. A truth that had been quietly waiting to be discovered. For years, they had been searching for certainty in complicated places. They looked for signs in grand moments. They searched for answers in dramatic situations. Yet the answer had been sitting inside a simple memory all along. And once they saw it, everything changed. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Suddenly, your soulmate realized that the strongest impressions are not always created by extraordinary events. Sometimes they are created by consistency. Sometimes they are created by authenticity. Sometimes they are created by someone who remains true to themselves no matter what challenges appear. That realization pointed directly toward you. Every memory they examined seemed to lead back to the same conclusion. Every reflection strengthened the same understanding. Every thought reinforced the same truth. You had left a deeper impact than they ever realized. Don't skip. Because what happened next became impossible to ignore. As days passed, your soulmate started noticing something remarkable. Whenever they compared their memories of you with memories of other people, there was a difference they could not explain. Thoughts of you carried a sense of warmth. A sense of familiarity. A sense of comfort that refused to fade. No matter how much time passed, that feeling remained. And that realization shook them. Because suddenly they understood that some connections do not disappear simply because time moves forward. Some connections become stronger when viewed through the lens of understanding. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then came the moment that became the final confirmation. One day, your soulmate heard someone speak about qualities they admired most in another person. As they listened, something unexpected happened. Every quality being described reminded them of you. Your kindness. Your patience. Your resilience. Your sincerity. One by one, every description seemed connected to the same person. And for the first time, they could not ignore what that meant. The picture became crystal clear. The reason they kept thinking about you was not mystery. The reason they kept remembering you was not coincidence. The reason they changed their mind about you was not temporary emotion. It was recognition. True recognition. The recognition of value that had always existed. Don't skip. Because the biggest revelation is still ahead. Your soulmate realized they had spent too much time focusing on what they thought was missing instead of appreciating what had always been present. Once that understanding arrived, it spread through every memory, every reflection, and every thought they had about you. Suddenly, past misunderstandings seemed smaller. Past doubts seemed weaker. Past assumptions seemed less important. The truth was becoming impossible to deny. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The surprising reason your soulmate changed their mind about you was not because you transformed into someone new. It was because their perspective transformed. They finally saw your worth with clear eyes. They finally understood the significance of your presence. They finally recognized the qualities that had quietly stood before them the entire time. And once that happened, there was no going back. Because when someone truly sees the value of another person, they cannot simply forget it. That realization became the turning point. That realization became the answer. And in the next part, the extraordinary moment that sealed this understanding forever will be revealed, a moment so meaningful that it convinced your soulmate that their journey toward understanding had been leading to this truth all along. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A moment arrived that your soulmate never expected, and it became the final piece of the puzzle. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, because the reason your soulmate changed their mind about you is about to become clearer than ever before. There was a day when everything seemed normal. Nothing extraordinary appeared to be happening. No major event. No dramatic conversation. No life-changing announcement. Yet beneath the surface, something remarkable was taking place. Your soulmate was quietly connecting every lesson, every memory, and every realization they had experienced throughout this journey. And then it happened. A sudden understanding. A moment of complete clarity. A realization so powerful that it instantly changed the way they viewed the entire story. Don't skip. Because this revelation was unlike anything they had experienced before. Your soulmate suddenly understood that every time they had questioned the connection, the answers eventually led back to you. Every time they searched for meaning, the path somehow returned to you. Every time they reflected on what truly mattered, your presence appeared again and again. At first, they tried to ignore it. Then they tried to explain it. Then they tried to understand it. But eventually they reached a conclusion they could no longer deny. You had become one of the most meaningful parts of their journey. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As this realization grew stronger, something else happened. The memories that once seemed ordinary became extraordinary. The conversations they once overlooked became valuable. The moments they once underestimated suddenly carried a completely different meaning. They realized that what made you special was not one specific quality. It was the combination of everything. Your strength during difficult moments. Your sincerity when others chose shortcuts. Your ability to remain genuine regardless of circumstances. Your unique way of leaving a lasting impression without even trying. The more they thought about these things, the more impossible it became to return to their old perspective. Don't skip. Because the next discovery changed everything. Your soulmate realized that many people enter someone's life for a moment. Some remain for a season. But only a few leave an impact that continues to grow with time. And that is what surprised them most. Instead of fading, their appreciation for you became stronger. Instead of disappearing, their understanding became deeper. Instead of becoming a distant memory, your significance became clearer. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then came the once-in-a-lifetime revelation. The revelation that finally explained why they changed their mind. They discovered that their original opinion had been based on limited information. They had seen only part of the picture. They had focused on temporary circumstances instead of lasting qualities. But now they could see the entire picture. And the complete picture was beautiful. The person they once thought they understood turned out to be far more remarkable than they imagined. That realization stayed with them. Day after day. Moment after moment. Thought after thought. It became impossible to forget. Don't skip. Because the biggest truth is right here. The surprising reason your soulmate changed their mind about you was never because of outside influence. It was never because of pressure. It was never because of coincidence. It happened because truth revealed itself. Little by little. Piece by piece. Until there was no room left for misunderstanding. And once truth arrives, everything changes. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Now your soulmate sees you through a completely different lens. They see the lessons. They see the memories. They see the qualities that remained hidden from their view before. Most importantly, they see the value that was always there. That is why their perspective changed. That is why their understanding deepened. That is why their heart could no longer hold on to old assumptions. Because they finally saw what had been there all along. And this realization became the foundation of an entirely new chapter. A chapter built on clarity. A chapter built on understanding. A chapter built on appreciation. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the final part, the ultimate conclusion of this journey will be revealed, the powerful truth your soulmate finally accepted, and the extraordinary reason they now view you in a way they never thought possible.